Welcome back, everyone, to another stock market open live stream. Today is NVIDIA Day. Happy NVIDIA Day, everyone. But I think most of what we're going to see today is tenuousness in, frankly, a lot of different stocks, because people are going to see is, oh no, NVIDIA, that's the prop that's going to hold the whole market out of recession. Now, people are going to buy NVIDIA today, especially funds, because, I mean, it makes sense. This is like totally logical. You buy NVIDIA, you buy a little bit before, so that way if it massively beats, you're like, yay, we own it. And if they miss, you're like, don't worry, we're going to buy the dip. Kind of classic, pretty typical. Personally, I still like, I'm staring at Enphase and I'm like, it is now created 6 days of basically a floor over here around $60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Today will be the 7th day that it's creating this floor around $60, which to me somewhat reiterates that, hey, it's possible the floor is in on this one, and most of the solar fear has been had now. No guarantees, though. We have had floors like this before. I mean, look at that bounce we had at 75.80. We ran all the way up to $90, and we just came straight down. But this was on the election, right? So really from here, this was your pre-Trump floor, and it seems like this is your post-Trump floor. So your pre-Trump floor was about 70. Well, I mean, the shelf was somewhere around $80, and the floor was around 75. Let's call the shelf here 60. Okay, so 60 divided by 80. Trump's taken off about 25% of Enphase's value. So let's actually like logic that for a moment. Let's see here. Let's write this down. So let's go with Enphase. We'll say, okay, we'll share this together. Okay, so we'll slap this right here. Enphase. It appears Trump has removed about 25% of Enphase's valuation over concerns that Trump could nix solar-related benefits. Okay, so let's consider that. That would be from the, let's see here. That's from an approximate $80 valuation just prior to Trump and 60 after. Okay, great. So what taxes are we talking about? Well, we're talking about 30% energy credit. You know, that's a big deal. That incentivizes people to actually get into energy. And then we're also talking about manufacturing credits, IRA manufacturing credits for inverters. So strategically, what does Enphase do? What happens to Enphase? Well, there are a few things. Lower energy prices will hurt near term, but long term, you're still going to see a move towards solar. And you know, that's going to include smaller solar systems too. So you know, they call it balcony solar. You see that a lot in Europe. You're going to start seeing it in the US. Whole home, industrial, etc. We'll still see that. So I don't think the sort of green trend is gone. However, there is a risk to losing that 30% energy tax credit. And so then you sort of wonder, like, okay, well, if the stock's already gone down by 25%, would a 30% energy credit, like how much in sales is that going to kill? Or how much in pricing is that going to kill? Well, let's just assume for a moment, Enphase has to drop prices by 30% if energy credit goes away. IRA credit matters less, as they can just go back to Romania to manufacture. Then EPS would go down 30%, assuming Enphase was responsible for the full set, right? Okay, the stock is already down. The stock is already down 25%. So if you go another 5% at 65, then you're sitting at like maybe 57. It's an idea, absent a recession. Just sort of like something to think about. And I think it's an interesting way to sort of logic it out. Because it really, what it does is it seems like, 85% of the worst case scenario has been priced in. Seems like 85% of worst case scenario is priced in. Something very important to remember. Remember this about Republicans. Cutting tax breaks equals tax hike. No Republican wants to be known for hiking someone's taxes. So I expect these removals to be less extreme. We'll see, though, obviously. So, just an idea. Okay, very well. Then we've got, let's see here. Okay. Let's see. I want to see the cues. Look at the cues. Look at the cues on the hour chart. I find this really interesting. We twice hit 493.99. Twice. Including yesterday once. Wow. I don't even think I noticed that yesterday. I was so busy. That's really interesting because that was the ceiling previously. So 493. I mean, we are stuck between two ranges here. And red's going to take red today could retest. Let's write that down. Red today, I'll say if red going into NVIDIA earnings, QQQ could retest 493.99 again. So I'd watch that. Then we've got Bitcoin. Bitcoin's killing it right now, which is also why you're seeing MicroStrategy do so well. Because I mean they have literally turned into a company that is worth 3 times as much as their Bitcoin in this like sort of wild momentum movement. It's very scary for when this goes down because it's not if, it's when. But in the meantime, you could crank some sick money. I mean, look at this. It's up again, another 6.7%. It was up 11% yesterday. This is insane. This is like the definition of euphoria. I'm going to write that down, actually. I think that's funny. MicroStrategy. Definition of euphoric momentum. The fall will happen. It's just a matter of when. In my opinion, have stop losses. Just saying, not personalized advice. Okay, what else do we have here? Tesla. Look at that shelf that Tesla is really sitting on. This is what's stopping you from getting to 414 is that 347 level. We just keep testing it. Let's see. One sec. Okay, good. Ubic, Apple. Apple's been range bound. Meta's been range bound. Although Apple's had a little bit of an uptrend here. Look at that. Since the first. You're still range bound, but a little bit of an uptrend. That's interesting. And then, oh yeah, SoFi and Robinhood today. So Hood's getting into the financial advisory space, which is brilliant because it's really just going to increase, like pump their numbers. Hood's up 5% in pre-market. I wouldn't be surprised to see this hit $40 today. Just would not be surprised at all. Let me see what, it's because they're buying Trade PMR, which is a platform that's going to get them in with RA. It's a great way to honestly increase your user base. It's kind of brilliant. So, and their volatility right now is mid-range. So that might spike here. I mean, we'll see, but honestly, Robinhood is pretty impressive. Let's see here. Okay. All right, let's see what Jimbo's got for us this morning.
Oil market, Standard Oil.
Yeah, SoFi as well with the financials. I think. See, the thing is, the financials really, they're sort of like outside of the NVIDIA space. So I think you'll get less of that NVIDIA tenuousness in the financials today. So that's why I think financials are in play today.
I'm checking the markets throughout the trading session, working the phones, talking to sources.
Boring. We'll
create a healthier world.
Oh my gosh, these losers. Okay. All right. Well, what else do we have here? Oh, everyone's running an ad. Bonds sort of retraced from yesterday, I'm noticing. That's probably because the Russia-Ukraine stuff is a little overblown. Let's see here. One sec. Okay, so what's interesting here is you're still dancing on your $90 sort of flourish, which I give sort of an 89.6 to 90.6 range. And you're retracing today in bonds after the Russia-Ukraine thing. People are basically looking at it and going, oh, it's, saber rattling, it's nothing. But what it really does is it shows you what happens when there is any kind of shock. So any kind of little oopsie doopsies geopolitically or in the economy, I think we'll end up seeing these sort of skyrockets in bond yields, bond prices. So bond yields down. And then, of course, you could see retraces if you don't sustain those. I personally think a lot of the manufacturing boosts and sort of economic data that we got that's so bullish from September, Q3 basically, was driven by those port strikes. And if you look at Target's earnings and their inventory, they popped. Let's go to their press release. Let's see if I could show you. But they built up, they stocked up because they didn't want to be caught empty-handed for the holiday season. Now they've got way too much inventory. So let's see here. Third quarter Op Inc. margin was 4.6%, which is 60 basis points lower than last year. Gross margin was also down due to higher digital fulfillment and supply chain costs due to the costs of managing higher inventory levels, increased digital sales volumes, offset by lower book to physical. Okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so higher inventory, flat comparable sales, and then I don't think it was in here. I think where was it? They had CEO commentary on the port strike. Yeah, no, they don't show it in here. It was in management discussion commentary. So it's really interesting to me how this is going to play out. All the inventory buildup we've seen and the production that comes with that in anticipation of these port strikes that end up being a just big fat nothing burger. Anyway, I'm going to watch Hood as we get to the bell here. Yeah, it's up 5% right now. My next line, just to be clear, is 40.46. And let's see if it how it moves at the open. Maybe it'll suck. But let's listen to Jimbo firsto.
You use that number and you put a Dell multiple on it, you get 129. Put a Microsoft multiple on it, you get 248. If you put an SPX multiple, all of these you make at 23 times earnings, you make money. So what I'm saying is that this piece basically says, I know you think it's expensive at a 32 multiple, but 32 multiple, $290.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
On a $9 estimate, right?
So I think that if you give it a 32 model and use Tony's work, that shows you don't sell the stuff. Even though the quarter may not be up to stuff, even though Christmas may not be up to stuff on the 16th, this piece makes me feel more confident than I felt. I don't know if he's going to be on today, Tony, but you put it.
Okay, some red candles right at the open. See how this moves here. We've got that's the average candlestick. So let's go to unaverage. There we go. Okay, all right. Bobbing on Robinhood. Which way is it going to go? Keeps bobbing between 4.5 and 5. The Qs took a little bit of a red there. There you go. A little bit of profit taking on NVIDIA maybe. I think it ran up a little bit because everybody wants to have a little position before earnings. Qs kind of keep pushing down. MicroStrategy keeps pushing up. It's not a bubble. Everything's fine. Ooh, look at that buy opportunity on Enphase. 59.9999. Tesla down about 0.5%. Ooh, super micro 5%. I actually think they're going to get a shout out from NVIDIA today. Apple 44 bips. Wow, it's actually finally going to try to go back to 230. That's amazing. Disney, not really going anywhere. Coinbase. Well, yeah, on 94K Bitcoin. I mean, watch when this sucker's 100K. You really need a shock to take Bitcoin down at this moment. And I don't know. I mean, that's why they call it a black swan. You don't know where it is until it's too late. But I don't know that we're close to that right now. We'll see. So a lot of enthusiasm on Trump going into the new year. Look at that Coinbase rocket ship right here. Holy smokes! What's our next stop on this? So next stop is 390, baby. 390. Nobody knows 390 like your mom. And there goes Robinhood. Here we go. Come on, 40 bucks, baby. You got crypto plays over here as well. You got crypto. You got financial advisors. You got trading. You got AUM. You got money markets. You got everything you need at the Robin of the Hoods. And the Qs are trending down. But that's mostly because of NVIDIA. I think 60 basis points. I talked about that in this video this morning. NVIDIA, what's it called? They represent 6%. 6% of the entire market cap of the United States. It's crazy. Crazy. Concentration is insane. A lot of hope, though. Look at that. Getting some more red candles. It's going to take the Qs down with it. If NVIDIA ends up down 2 or 3% today, you're going to be back at that 493 on the Qs. And I do think people are going to be tenuous today. But there goes Hood. Come on, baby. Come on. 40 bucks, baby. Pump it. Nobody knows the pump better than, I don't know, better than whom. Somebody says, let's see here. I think Paramount needs to merge with Disney and Star Trek. Oh. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Zim, Zim, what's your beef? Definitely remember stop loss. Heck yeah. M4 is the best Apple product. My first time considering Apple since the iPhone. Wow. Yeah, I have an M4 laptop. I really enjoy it. Yeah, I'll probably have a daily crypto section. I can do that for you. Absolutely. You're 99% Bitcoin. Should you put 1% in MicroStrategy? Well, while that strategy has done well, I mean, I don't think 1% makes a difference. I don't know what your whole life situation is, so I can't give you personalized advice. But I'll just put it this way. If your net worth is under $100,000, consider getting into real estate so you can build some real net worth. If your net worth is over that and you're 99% Bitcoin, I'm very nervous for you and your future. If you're 99% Bitcoin and you have like 10K, you may as well just try to yeet it to a down payment so you can get into real estate. But again, I have no idea what your situation is. So not personalized advice. Come on, Hood. Come on, baby. Push it. $40. Let's go. At the same time, the Qs are leaking. Yeah, because it's NVIDIA. Again, we just dropped another 60 bips down to about almost 1.2 right now. No, not that button. I didn't mean to push that button. That was for Bitcoin. There you go. Almost at 95K, folks. 95. Woo! Let's see here. Oh, the Qs are leaking. Oh, giant red candle on the hood. Somebody took profits. MicroStrategy is unstoppable. You should see the MSTX one. It's going to be crazy. But if there's a shock or recession, this sucker's probably going to go from, you know, I don't know, whatever it'll end up at 200 to like 0. But I'm pretty sure this has almost doubled in the last week. MSTX. So we were at $86 on the 13th. So literally in 1 week, MSTX has doubled. Holy crap. All right. And the Qs keep leading. Down 30 basis points now. Come on, Hood. Second red candle. It's got a VWAP bounce. Enphase holding on to 60 again. Tesla -1. Apple's almost at 230. Bonds recovering a little bit at the open. Down 6% on Space Mobile. Netflix. Ooh, Netflix 888. Oh my gosh. What was Monday was the 18th. Had a 2.8% day, another 2.8% day, and now it's up another like 2%. It's actually, you're seeing a lot of people revise Netflix up because of the streamed event, even though the quality was crap. Remarkable. Oh, Target retail sales must have hit Amazon. Amazon's down about 1.2%. Oh, let's see TJT. I think they were down like 18% this morning. Oh, 19%. Let's give them a...
Lost the lead.
Yeah. Oh. And they've already been consolidating. Oh, wow. Look at that candle. Oh, that's nasty. Oh, look at that. Oof. Oh, yeah. So I got a line here at about 128. And it looks like we're just trying to break that now. I mean, next stop's like $100 for this stock. Oof. Oof. And then straight down on the Qs right now. Yeah, because NVIDIA is going down. It's fine. So, all right. All right. What else? Let's see what the Jimbo's got.
With CrowdStrike and do it fast because he still uses CrowdStrike. I think that is often a sign that it's not irreparable, David. But my travel trust owns CrowdStrike, not Delta. So you could say, well, maybe I just want to be with a stock that's up a huge amount.
Yeah, maybe you just want to be with a stock that's up a huge amount.
Is that capricious and erratic?
Well, yeah, but are you just
buy CrowdStrike right here?
Buy CrowdStrike
now,
right
Palo
here.
Alto reports the stock's almost never down.
Guys, we're seeing
it's George Kurtz. George Kurtz.
I know, Le Mans. I know, Le Mans.
18 times, partner. 18 times.
Yeah,
that's number 4.
We should start counting. We're only a few away from 18.
Oh,
we'll know we'll be done
when
soon.
When it comes to NVIDIA, we're at 18,000.
Well, then Roger would be rolling in his grave saying, David doesn't understand the TV business.
David used to, actually, he would say, I joined CNBC like 3 weeks before he did. But then he went off and created America's Talking, which then became MSNBC. But of course, he left, and then he went and did Fox. Anyway, we don't need to go through the history of Roger.
This is boring. Qs are now down 48 bips. This is a lot of nervousness going into NVIDIA.
What's the upside risk in your view here that the Magnificent Seven might still stand apart by a large margin from that widening trade?
Well, first of all, our analysis would suggest that collectively these 7 companies trade roughly in line with fair value, as the same as the rest of the 493 companies. You think about that, each company individually, cross-sectionally, how does it compare with its projected or modeled valuation on margins, on sales, some of the fundamental metrics that one looks at in valuing a company would suggest collectively they're basically trading around fair value. That means that it's the relative earnings growth that's likely to drive the relative performance as you look into next year. That relative performance is likely to narrow. In that context, you're likely to get a narrowing of the outperformance. Still outperforming, but by a much smaller amount. That's the point that I was making earlier, that's something that portfolio managers need to think about because these companies are 30% of the overall index. So obviously very consequential. And when you look at the performance of mutual funds as an example, 75% of the mutual funds are lagging the benchmark being the S&P 500. The 25% that are doing better than the benchmark, outperforming, are basically an inline weighting in these biggest companies. The underperforming companies or mutual funds have been, less optimally positioned. They've got an underweighted position. And so we think about the best.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay, everything's fairly valued. Nothing can go down, blah, blah, blah. This, I'm telling you, if we have a recession, it's just going to be the crappiest recession ever, man. Valuations and wealth is going to get crushed. People are going to be have such a hard time getting a job. I just hope it doesn't happen. Unfortunately, the signs are just so eerily similar to 2007. It just scares me like daily. Anyway, so Q's now down to about 500, which I mean isn't really a big deal, but we keep declining because we're getting driven down by NVIDIA. And Target's pulling us down a little bit as well, now down 20%. MicroStrategy's trying to recover. Hood coming back around VWAP. If we think this is going to go to 40, well, let's see if it stops its downtrend. But I was going to say, get into more of a patient entry point here, but maybe you're going to wait for the 100 SMA if the momentum continues. The problem is the Qs are tanking. So with the Qs tanking, it's really hard to momentum anything. Look at this. Even though the Qs are down 0.5%, Enphase is flat. That's a bottom sign to me. AMD, AI trades freaking out. Even Tesla's freaking out a little bit. Supermicro freaking out before NVIDIA, I feel like is actually a great opportunity. I'm going to watch. If this thing is down like 10% today, I might want to pick up some more exposure. But we'll see what happens. So HIMS is down 5.9 today. What happened with HIMS today? Let's see if there was any news on them. I don't think there was. HIMS and hers. Let's see. It will not load, good size. There we go. Somebody says there won't be a crash. Yeah, there will be. There will be a glorious crash. We just don't know when. No news on HIMS. Tina for DJT, make Tina great again. Yeah, no. TJT's gotta make some money. Although I do think it's a cheaper way to play this whole backed speculation than actually only owning backed. Robinhood backup. Look at that on the VWAP. Where we were talking about the entry. Right there. VWAP fell a little bit below it. Didn't get to that 200 or 100. Somebody says crash on Uber stock. Uber and Lyft valuations are actually pretty reasonable. Uber. Let's see here. Yeah, look at that. Oh, I love it when they go down because then I can buy them cheaper. You're under the 200-day moving average, which that rarely happens. That's not true. In 22, you sat below the 200. So in an expansion market, I mean, yeah, okay, that's fair. But yeah, nice sort of sell down over here. Looks like you might have more of a local floor on. Okay, well, let me see here. Let me see what's going on with Uber. And I was like, oh, should I buy the dip on Target this morning? And then I'm like, oh no, the valuation is still disgusting. I don't know how its valuation ran that high, but the Qs are finally recovering. You just went to like 49 bips. The trajectory was like straight down at the launch. But Uber is trading for, no, never mind. Maybe that is a little pricey. 31 times. Well, maybe not. They're trading for 32 times earnings. Expected growth over the next 4 years, 25. 32 divided by 25. This is a 1.28 peg for a software business. It's actually not unreasonable. I'll write that down. Uber. What did I say? 32 divided by, yeah, call it a roughly a 1.3 peg at 32 PE. based on 25% EPS growth over the next 4. That's interesting. Okay, then you've got Lyft. Lyft, I think, is sitting in that boat too. Lyft is 79. Oh, no. What? They're cheaper. Divided by 0.79. Yeah, they're only trading for 21 times. That's interesting. Yeah, Lyft has never demanded the premium that Uber has. And if I look at their 4-year forward, less growth actually expected than Uber. How interesting. On earnings per share divided by 4. Only expecting about 19.5% growth. Expected over the next 4 in EPS puts them at a 21 divided by 19.5. 1.08 peg. The ride-hailing companies are actually kind of cheap right now. Gotta say, kind of cheap. All right, what else? NVIDIA. Come on, baby, light my fire. As it's recovering, the Qs are recovering. A floor. Enphase is recovering. Tesla's recovering. Supermicro's recovering. Here we go. And Robinhood back on its way to 40. Let's go. So asking about Tajay. Oh, let me see. I wonder if I made a mistake. The Alpha report targets PE ratio. Okay. 25%. I wonder if that was supposed to be the growth. Oh, no, because they're growing way less. So I have EPS at 954. Oh, yeah, you're right. Divided by, I think I made a mistake on that. Oh, yeah, no. I've only got them at, how did I screw that up? Yeah, I made a mistake. Okay, so they're actually at a 13 point. Ooh, that makes a lot more sense. I will have to double check in the future. Well, I do. I double check, but I screwed that up. Okay, so that's what the frack is going on? Oh, my numlock turned off for some reason. And just screws everything up. All right, so that means 13.2 PE. Okay, let's rerun the numbers on that. I'll send a follow-up text just to clear that up. Well, okay, so that means, I mean, yeah, that does make a big difference because you're projecting 7.8% growth. So that puts you at a 3.2 peg. So if I go 13.2 divided by 7.8, it's actually only about 1.69. Okay, well, that's kind of where it should be, actually. There you go. Okay. Oopsies. Yeah, I don't want to spam people, so I'll just clarify it in tomorrow's. Oops. That's okay. It's not going to make much of a difference. I mean, I don't think anybody who's not listening here won't mind hearing about that update tomorrow, but I will make a note of that. So I will go. Good call, though. Thank you. Okay, so error on TJT yesterday. Okay, so yeah, the problem for me with TJT is if their EPS growth is even lower, obviously, they trade a little rich. They're pretty labor intensive, and I really want to look at their earnings call to understand what's going on with the port strike inventory buildup. Because if they did spend a lot of money on port strike buildup, maybe they don't have to spend as much money in Q4, and they'll actually beat for Q4. Okay, let's see here. Target earnings call. Okay, I have their earnings call already. Q's trying to go back down. Let me see. Port. Our supply chain faced some unique challenges with the port strikes. Our team changed the timing of certain shipments to try to basically accelerate them. Complexities this quarter to the port. Moving inventory. As you click further down the P&L, there were some things that were certainly more unique to the data factors, like moving inventory around the port strike. We feel good that we're on the other side of that now. But it all starts with the top line. Yeah, they're definitely getting some more online sales movement. Okay, we'll go a little deeper into this earnings call in the Course Member Live, but you're right. There's an oopsies on the valuation right down there. I wonder if I just fat fingered the 2 instead of the 1, but again, I'm running it at 13 right now, not even 15, so just screwed it up. All right, thank you for that. I will be better. All right, so next. Hey, DJT moved up a little bit more, 5%. Tarjay keeps bleeding. Micro, look at the MSTX, just keeps going. What are the what's the what are the assets on this? 185 million. Expense ratio 1.29. That's crazy. Q's are still bobbing. NVIDIA is bobbing. Enphase is trying to move up. Supermicro can't figure out a direction. Bonds basically gave up. Palantir dropping again. All right. Okay, let's hop in here for a moment.
Wall Street beat this.
TJT leaps. Screwed in a recession. Like I don't know, how do you beat at a retailer right now? You know, like I feel like I'd consider them if they were like really, really cheap. But I mean, even with the revised PE, they're at a fair value with current estimates. So like, what am I getting? Where's my alpha there? So if I look at Etsy, on the other hand, it's a $50 stock divided by 4.04. I've got earnings of, I'm only trading for 12 times at Etsy. But then again, there's like no growth. And that's the problem. 9 plus 3 plus 9 divided by 4. Yeah, like 5% growth. So you're like over a 2 peg. Yeah, that's one of the reasons Etsy's been building. It's because you can't appeal to the lower end consumer. I would rather buy Delta right now. I feel like. I don't know. And I don't like the airlines. I don't think the airlines actually have pricing power. But, you know, here you want to dip on Delta, 4%. But look at that. It's been running like crazy. But their debt buries them in a recession. Oh. Andre says, are you purposely only live on X? I'm actually live on YouTube as well, on the Meet Kevin Market Live channel. And Twitch. Yeah, Hood trying to break a 38K level. Let's see, or 38 level. Let's see, where are they? Yeah, you're right. It's getting stuck at 38. Come on, baby. Ugh, target just keeps going down. It's just hard to bet on the retail customer today. You have to bet on people with more money. Yeah. Williams Sonoma's up 23%. Wow. Well, there you go. You have to bet on people with more money. Yep. Higher income consumer wins again. Williams Sonoma. Let's see here. I'm gonna write this down. Williams Sonoma. Yep, betting on higher income consumer. Earnings say. Let's see what they have for earnings. Okay, just less negative than expected. Okay. Comp sales Q3 negative 2.9% versus negative 3.39% expected. Okay. So I mean, still negative. It's just slightly less negative than expected. I mean that makes these pretty fully priced, I feel like, but apparently not. It's up 20%. $1 billion buyback authorization. Fiscal year net rev. 2.25 negative 2.25%. Fiscal year guide. That's actually reduced from, let's see, that's 1.5, that's 2.5, 1.25, 1.5 plus 1.25. That's down from 2.75, down from negative 2.75%. So a little bit of a better pickup there. Sales near recovery. Sales near recovery. Okay. So what's their valuation these days? They are expecting $8 of EPS in Jan for the year. 168.5 divided by 8. What is that, 20 times? Yep, 20.7 times. Forward-looking growth of earnings per share, expecting flat next year and about 8 1/3 each year thereafter. So divided by 4 puts me at about 6.2. So 20 divided by 6.2. This sucker's trading for a 3.2 peg. So, I mean, this whole, like, 3.2 peg at the moment seems like the higher income play is getting priced in today with the stock up 22%. Yeah, I mean, like, how much more upside is there? That doesn't seem very desirable. I mean, Target's half the valuation on this one now. Crazy. Okay. Oh, yeah, Restoration Hardware is going to move on Williams Sonoma. That's an easy sister play right there. And then Max says Unity. Unity's up 5%. Yeah, dragging along the floor, though. I feel like their whole business just gets replaced by AI. Good. All right. So make sure you get the alpha report. Meetkevin.com/alpha. Get it every morning, 15 minutes before the market opens. Totally free. Thank you so very much for being here. I got to go to the course member live stream after I grab some coffee and a little bit to eat. So 10 minutes or so. We'll see you there in a bit. Thanks. Bye.